Hi, this is Sean McNamara from mindpossible.com, and this is my second video talking about telepathy and how you can use my system Send and Receive to train yourself and your friends in your telepathic abilities, meaning reading someone else's mind. To create this video, I've actually hired actors to help us set the setting for using multiple people, multiple teams to use Send and Receive. So to set the stage, I'll describe how you would typically start playing it. Even though it's not really a game, it's a training system, I refer to it as a game, and so did the actors who actually experienced it for real. One way to use Send and Receive is that one person would be the sender, and the others would be the receivers, and they would sit far away from the sender. And the sender would draw 4 cards from the pile, from the Send and Receive deck, and then spontaneously look at only one of them. That person would begin to focus on the image, using any memories that arise, any feelings, sensations, or focusing on the primary color of the card, any sounds and tastes that might be attributed to the image on the card. And they would focus on it, make it come alive in their imagination, and intend to send the information out to the receivers for them to perceive in their subtle mind. Meanwhile, the receivers are in a very relaxed state. Perhaps they have their eyes closed, and they're just waiting for very subtle impressions to come up in their consciousness. When the time is right, perhaps after a couple of minutes, the sender would shuffle the 4 potential images without looking at them, walk over to the table where the receivers are sitting, and then lay out the 4 images. Then the receivers spend a few moments looking over the 4 images to see which one could potentially be the one that the sender was sending to them at the beginning of the session. And the next part could be done 2 different ways. Either the sender could just point to the card that they were sending, or each of the receivers could take turns pointing to the card they think that the sender was sending and explain why. What were they picking up? Were they getting colors, feelings? Was a memory coming up for them? And that way you get to learn about the other people in the room and how they think and feel and a little more about their background. And then when the time is right, the sender can indicate the card that was actually being sent to the receivers.
Oh, that's the one that immediately when I flipped over. Yeah.
Right? Which one was it?
Another way to use the system, let's say 2 couples are playing, is for one of the couples to be the sender. So 2 people would go to the sending table, they would draw the 4 cards and randomly choose one of them, and both people would stare at the one card. And perhaps they could whisper to each other, deciding on one single word that they would use to transmit the information, one word that describes the card perfectly. Or they could just, in their own way, think of memories, feelings, sensations, smells, and tastes that each one of them wants to send out to the receiving couple. And then again, after a few minutes, they would come over with the 4 potential images, lay them down on the table, and the other couple would indicate which card they think it is, and then the senders would reveal which one it actually was. Now, as I said earlier, I hired paid actors to make this video for me, but we actually did use the system in the course of producing this video.
I know you think it colors. I just kept saying white. White.
Yes,
white,
and I see.
white.
I saw white, and it's really interesting because I'm not clairaudient, but I'm very visual. But for some reason today it's about colors.
I knew that, so I just kept projecting the word white.
Okay, so yeah, white purity. Is that the Taj Mahal?
It is.
That's where I want to go one day. Can I?
Same thing. Colors kept coming towards my vision.
And asked them to share with us how they actually feel. So this part is not acting. I asked for their real impression after using the system together just for a brief period of time.
I think it's a great way to really tune in to everyone's energy, the person sending, the person receiving. You know, oftentimes we have so much noise in our brain, but if we can focus on sending so the receiver will receive it. I thought it was just a really fun game to play. It'd be a great game for people that actually knew each other, but also people that really don't know each other. It'd be a great icebreaker, a singles game, a couples game, a family game for kids. I just thought it was a great way to send and receive and to really kind of tune in to just what your intuition is bringing about.
It was really interesting because I wasn't sure what to expect, and I believe in energy and being able to send and receive, and I've often wondered if I have that ability, and I thought that I might. And then when I experienced the game, it was more difficult than I anticipated, but also fascinating because people got it right. And so therefore, that tells me that the energy that I believe in, that I feel is existent, even if I can't pinpoint it. And I think this game is a really great way to get to know people's energy and to try to connect with people. It would be great for like corporate icebreakers if you want to get to know people, or a dating game, or experiment with little kids to see, you know, if they have an energy because they're so innocent and don't have any ideas that have been pushed through, kind of like adults do. And I just think it's fascinating, just human experiment, and also some factual things that came about from the game in terms of it worked. There were people that did pick the card that someone had seen or had their intentions for.
Definitely fun, yeah. I mean, I think the telepathy thing is a little difficult. Like, you got to really open up and like, be used to that. But I think even without that, just trying to guess what you feel like you think the other person is thinking about, it's pretty fun. Like, if you know them well, for sure.
So the game was actually pretty interesting, but I believe that this game is more utilized for children, or if you had like a game night with your spouse, with your friends, that would probably be fun, especially if it was a bigger group of people, maybe like 4 couples or 10 people, you know, so. But telepathically, I mean, if you're a very Zen person who likes to meditate, then it might be cool. So
there we go. We have 4 different impressions from each of the actors, and I think they all enjoyed it in their own way and saw different potential for using this system. So if you're interested in getting Send and Receive, I still have some available, and you can learn more about it at mindpossible.com.